but we're going live with the show, and it is time for a little bit of music to carry us in through. So off we go. Gotta play with the dials and pegs. Get them up and ready. Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In search for glory, when with them sacred rules of old, they went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Not saying they're right or wrong. I ain't no Texan dancer, well, move it right along. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Turkey and the chigger, just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger, guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, is it yours or is it mine? Definitely mine. Nailed it. Claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, going with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devil's at a crossroads, Joker's doing fine. Just sitting doing time. Ah, yes, there we go. Nice way to get started. My bad singing and getting everything all tuned in and ready to go. So we're about ready to go live. We got a few seconds left. I hit the song just a couple of seconds early today, but we'll flip the screen here and get us ready to start the show. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We've got a few people online today, so feel free to pop in questions as you see fit. I'll try to include them into the show wherever I can, and I usually hang a couple of minutes after the show for anyone who wants to chat along the way. All right. Well, that takes us right up to the finishing line. All right, so off we go. Let's get this puppy wound up and ready to go. So it is time. Oracles and Angels. It's episode 460 with plugins for what the future holds. Sanitizing SVGs. That one sounds kind of dirty. Sticky headers, lots of color, displaying posts and images, and ClassicPress options. All coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress Plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the Brewery Overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall, and I do have a guest with us today who I will introduce here in just a couple of minutes. But just remember, according to the Mueller Report, you are listening to WP Plugins A to Z, the best ClassicPress WordPress podcast in the universe. A big thank you out there to the No Agenda Show for their contributions of ideas and the occasional sound clip. Squirrel! And a big shout out to Darren O, who does the pre-show for the No Agenda Show on their Thursday mornings when I'm doing my show prep. And he always has this excellent selection of music. And today it was just some really kick-ass music from the 70s. You know, back in my era and day when they actually made music compared to what they have today. This is a value for value show, and I look forward to everyone providing some value back. One of the ways you can do that is get out there, hit everyone in the mouth, tell them about the show, get them to listen to it, subscribe to the newsletter, get the weekly newsletter, little bits of information, tidbits, and updates. And hey, if people aren't enjoying the newsletter, tell us what you'd like to see in it. We will be happy to improve that newsletter so it is more useful for you. So please let us know. Or you can also join the show live every Thursday at noon Pacific time on the YouTube channel. Just go to wppluginsa2z.com/live to see us live. All right, so that's really about it there. But it is episode 460. And while there is participation this week from you, the producers, I am looking for more. And while this participation is helping to push the sword of Damocles off to the side a bit further, don't let up now. Keep the feedback coming. This is episode 19 of 52 episodes for 2020. And as we are now 19 weeks into 2020 and 8 weeks into this isolation lockdown game for the Rona, our government overlords here in Canada, at least here in British Columbia, have finally started to come to their senses, and they are letting us out. They have given us permission. Thank you, overlords. Insert sarcasm there. Thank you, overlords, to finally let us get out and meet in groups for this coming up May long weekend. It has been a while since people have been officially allowed to meet in large groups. Well, we're not large. We're allowed to have up to 6 people outside of our family group. So if you've got a large family, you could potentially have, 10 or 12 people kicking around. That depends on the size of your family. But hey, that beats sitting around with your family who've probably been driving you batshit crazy. This has been a record for me, man. This definitely beat my record grounding as a teenager. And as I said last week, you'll just have to imagine what I did to earn that 2-month grounding as a teenager. So it is party time this weekend. Get out there and do something. One of the things you can do, find out what's happening, relax, go take a breath, go for a walk, build a garden, realize that the world is changed. And we are getting through it. Save your sanity and your amygdala. Go find out why you're not going to die by listening to the No Agenda Show. All right, and to let everyone know, I do have more spaces in the future for guest hosts, and if you would like to be one, just go to wppluginsa2z.com/guest host and sign up there. Today, I do have a guest host who has contributed to the show in several ways. You've heard his name on multiple shows, as he is one of the big providers of the artwork for this show, and he's been submitting plugins for me to use in the show. Really great guy. He's a graphic designer. I've helped him out a few times with projects he's been working on. He's got years of experience graphic designing and has been working on WordPress for several years. So joining me today is Angel Lemieux. So thanks for joining me, Angel. Still there, right? Oh, uh-oh. Did he mute out on me? No, still connected. Uh-oh. We were talking just before the show started. What happened? Where'd you go, Angel? I swear to God, folks, I really did have a guest host here. I wasn't imagining it. This is the joys of live. Well, you know, live to tape, too, because this goes out into my tape. Okay, well, with all of that build up and...
Hello, John.
There he is. There you are. What happened to you? We lost you.
I have no idea. Must be the gremlins. Thank you for having me on the show. Sorry for that technical glitch.
Yeah, it's not your fault, man. The gremlins get to us, and they do that to me. It was just making me look like, wow, I had this great build-up, and poof, nothing. It's like a magician who, you know, pulls the cards out, and he's got the wrong ones. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to jump into the news and information. And while Angel hasn't seen the lists of news I've got here going, he'll be able to hear what I'm talking about, and hopefully he can pipe in as we go. Otherwise, I'll be talking about them mostly. Or what you can do is you can pop in, if you got another browser somewhere, open up a browser, go to the live, you'll see them pop up on the screen there as they come through. Make it live and interactive. All right. Before I jump into news, one quick thing, though, about WordPress, as I'm starting to insert a minor opinion here every week. WordPress itself has seen a lot of boost during this Rona crisis. And I'm wondering how many other CMS systems and quick builders have had a boost also. Anyone knows a bit about it, please kick some information my way. I don't have time to always do the research, but this one here is kind of curious as to how many people went to WordPress, how many went off to ClassicPress, how many went to Wix or Squarespace or wherever they went to build stuff. This is an interesting thing to think of. And what are the crazy paths that people are headed down now that they're trying to build virtual businesses all over the place? Like my business got busy. Any insights into that one there, Angel?
You know, I do see a lot more advertisements everywhere. Any browser you hit for Wix and Squarespace, they're really hitting it hard. So I think everybody's trying to capture this captive audience, getting people to do websites.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure they are. And the more they can get, the better. All right, well, let's bring this up and let's talk about the first piece of news here. This one here is kind of near and dear to my heart because it's about censorship and the stopping of censorship. And it's an article that was put out on the Tavern by Chris. And I'm really glad to have read this article because it talks about people starting to bring back blogs in this current age of social media censorship. You know, whether you agree with certain ideas or opinions or not is mostly irrelevant in my viewpoint. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I don't agree with, but I don't agree with censoring it. And this is a really good article to go read, and it's well written and talks a lot about the censorship, and it's talking about the re-rise of the blog. And if you've been around the internet, well, I've been around for longer than I care to admit sometimes, 25 years since before it was the internet. But I remember the rise of blogs and people putting their content out in their own websites. And now it's all done social media. So because of this censorship, people are moving back to blogs. Anything there? Nope.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Well, just feel free to pop in whenever. Feel free to interrupt me if I'm rambling on too much. All right, ClassicPress. This next article here is an article for ClassicPress free plugin roundup for May 2020. And this is from ZigPress. And they put out a lot of information about ClassicPress from time to time. But they're going through and they're talking about a roundup of free plugins that are available if you're using ClassicPress. Plugins written specifically for ClassicPress. So if you are using it, go check out this article to see what is available and what's changing. It's not changing real fast, but it is changing. Now, this one here is a really great article. Sorry, you had something there?
Oh, I'm just saying that, our comments on ClassicPress are not going on deaf ears. Myself and several friends of mine who work on WordPress now are all on board and having options and at least some competition to WordPress for, not everybody likes what they're doing. So we really appreciate, all the ClassicPress that you're giving us.
Oh, good. Glad to hear. Glad to hear it's working out then. Yeah, I like it. I use ClassicPress on a few sites and WordPress on most everything else at the moment. Hey, this next article is a really good one for you if you're building out websites to turn over to your clients. And if you've ever had it happen, and pretty much every designer has had it happen, or developer has had it happen, you build this website, you got unique plugins, specific uses, you turn it over to the client, they get in there, start mucking with things, and they accidentally or purposely deactivate plugins, thus breaking all those stuff that you've set up. This is a nice article that tells you how to go in there and set some functionality into the functions file on how you can prevent all the plugins or just specific plugins from ever being deactivated on the plugin page itself. So a very useful article to help you out with your development of sites. So go check this article out. It comes from Torque Magazine. Okay, the next one up. Now, this one here is, of course, where I've been hounding on for some time, ever since the introduction of Gutenberg. This is an article here talking about where Gutenberg went wrong, talking about the theme developers, and the theme developers that have been left out, left behind, or the ones that can't catch up, the ones that don't want to deal with block-based and everything else. This one here is really kind of interesting. Now, whether you like the block editor, little consequence when there's no way to buy in from the theme authors. You've got a very small percentage of theme authors have currently bought in completely to the Gutenberg blocks. Now this will change, or they'll just weed out a bunch of theme authors who will move on somewhere else to, say, ClassicPress, where they can keep building their themes the way they've always built them. So this is a nice, interesting roundup of that bit of information. Okay, and the last one I've got here for you, or not last, I got two more. I got one more here. This one here is an article, not an article. This is a webinar, a free webinar I tripped across. You can just go click the link, sign up for a webinar from Kinsta on how to speed up your WordPress website. It may or may not be of interest to you, but I thought since I come across it, it's a free webinar happening May 20th. Maybe you sign up, go check it out. It could be of value to you. I mean, I've attended numerous free webinars over the years, and sometimes they're useful, sometimes I bail out in the middle. It all depends on where you're at. Now, this last one here, is talking about the things and events that are occurring in and around what's happening to us due to the coronavirus. And it is because of that we now have WordCamps have gone virtual. And this talks about the virtual WordCamps here, decoupled WordCamps. And we've got some interesting quotes and information, or not quotes, but some, I guess it is quotes, because they did a brief interview with Matt Mullenweg, our benevolent dictator for WordPress. And he talks about how and where WordPress is going, and that there's going to be, he actually mentions in this article a little bit about the veiled message that most page builders are going to go the way of the dodo, and that they're going to have to integrate fully with Gutenberg to be functional with WordPress. There might be a couple that'll manage to stand out above it, but for the most part, they'll eventually have to integrate themselves into Gutenberg or be blocked out of the system. And it's veiled in here. It's not direct. So you might want to read this article over very well if you're at all interested in what's going on in the Gutenberg experience. And whether you like it or not, if you like it, you'll be good. If you don't like it and you're trying to hope that you're always going to be able to disable Gutenberg, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen in about 2 or 3 years. Just because. And just to let you know, this one here is a tad bit of trivia. And this is some of the famous quotes from Matt Mullenweg, and this is where the benevolent dictator comes from. And he's talking about, he goes, this is from Matt. For WordPress, we're trying to set up a community that will be around 10 to 30 years from now. I feel like the non-elected benevolent dictator. It's my responsibility to meet as many users as possible and direct the software project in a way that reflects their interests. So that's where the benevolent dictator comes from. And many times, I believe there's other times where he's off the cuff said it and it wasn't quite in that same term, but just so you know, that's what we've got there. Okay. This is the segment of the show where I like to talk about everyone who has supported the show in this past week. And this show does not work without you, the producers, supporting it. If you guys quit supporting it, it is going to go away because it takes a lot of time to make this show. I dedicate pretty much 3/4 of a day to getting this show done. I gather information all week, and I start at about 6 a.m. on Thursday morning, preparing to go live at noon. And then I've got about an hour and a half after that. So, that's a really good chunk of the day and then other time involved. So what I'm looking for from you is more participation. You can give value back for the value received, and that value can be in numerous ways. Starting off, I like to acknowledge those that provide the artwork for the show. This week here, the artwork is provided by Sherry Lynn, and it's a really cool angel with the WP logo slapped over the face of the angel. I guess that makes WP Plugins A-Z an angel for this week. And really nice little piece of art. It's a nice photograph. Most of the art I'm getting these days is photographs with the logos on them. If you get creative and you want to create art, I'm into that too. Anything, folks. Art is great. So thanks to Sherry Lynn for producing the artwork for me. This week here, the executive producers. We don't have any executive producers. Those are the ones that come in $50 or more. But a big thank you to all the producers who came in under $50. You know who you are. Those small amounts do help this show out. The money that comes in currently doesn't actually make it to my pocket. It pays expenses, but every little bit does help. One day it might actually, give me a little bit of extra cash, and I can go buy myself a beer if they reopen the brewery so I can go over there and have a beer. All right, so on a big thank you out there to those who have hired me because of the podcast. That's as good as supporting the show, so thank you very much. How can you support the show? Well, you can donate money. Simply, of course, the biggest thing we need.
We just need cash. I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
Absolutely, just send your cash. And you can do that. Just go to wppluginsa.com/contribute to do that. Or we've still got a couple of Patreon donors. You can up the Patreon donor. Go submit artwork at the WP Plugins Art Generator, or submit articles, news, and information through the contact form on the website. Okay, so that's all that stuff. That's the preamble, the little bits of information. It is time to dive into the meat and potatoes of the show. All right, so first up, we talk about the ClassicPress options. Lately, I haven't had much because I haven't had time to do the research for ClassicPress. I haven't had anyone submit me anything for ClassicPress, unfortunately. So again, ClassicPress is light this week. No new plugins to talk about. And the usual stuff, the ClassicPress Club, the ClassicPress.net websites. And then, of course, you can go check out Code Potent's website, where he's got a lot of free plugins for ClassicPress, and I believe is on the leadership committee for ClassicPress. And if you want to find out more about them, I've interviewed a fair number of people from ClassicPress last year. Really great interviews. Might want to check them out. Okay, well, this takes us into the fun and games of the show. And this is where, first off, Angel, you get to start off with your first plugin. And which one is it going to be? Did I lose you again? I think I did. Hello. Oh, he's dropping. There you are. Dropping in and out.
I don't know why it's dropping. Maybe it's because I'm in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Could be. Where are you at again? I didn't actually mention that where you were located when I introduced you.
I am in Oahu, Hawaii, the primary island where we have Waikiki, Honolulu. And I live on the windward side, so we get lots of rain.
Good. I guess that's a good spot to get. Rain means nice, lush, and green too. So. Oh
yeah, very green.
All right, so let's go. Let's start with your first plugin here. What have you got for us, Angel?
Let's do the central color palette.
Okay.
So this plugin allows you to manage a side-wide color palette. That way you can have one central point of accessing all your colors. And what you do is, if you're using a page builder, you go into the settings and you turn off the default color settings there. And then through the central color palette plugin, you tell it that you're going to take over for, let's say, page builder, whether it's a Beaver Builder or Elementor, and also for the theme that you have installed. So it's a nice way to make sure that you're using one color palette, and sometimes in the past, before I became more knowledgeable, I got confused because I had things, color palettes in Elementor and then color palette through the theme, and it got confusing because things didn't really were coordinated. So this is a really useful plugin if you're using a builder and, of course, the theme, which has its own color palette.
Oh,
I give this one 5 stars. It's been really, really helpful.
excellent. Nothing like a five dragon plugin right off the bat. That sounds like a pretty useful plugin. I didn't even realize what it was when I was putting this information into the show notes today. I just sort of skimmed it and went, yeah, it looks interesting. But I like that, and it's compatible with different theme builders according to their site too.
Yeah, one of the nice things is that when you select the colors and you put them in through the color menu, you can also name them. So you can name the color however you want to name it. Useful in that way. The way things are familiar to your own nomenclature.
Excellent. I like that one. All right, well, that's one for you folks to check out. And I think I'm actually working on a project right now where I have to change the complete color palette of the site because they didn't like my color choices. So this could be useful for me, save me some time. All right, first plugin I've got for you here today. This one here is Display Posts, Easy List Navigation and More. So what this one is really great for, and I got this one because I was working on a project where this was already installed and I had to do some adjustments to it. And I like it because it's a shortcode driven plugin, which allows you to display your posts and other information using a shortcode. You can separate it out by categories, comment counts, other miscellaneous things throughout the site. And you can use it anywhere you can use shortcodes. So if you need to display some posts in, say, a sidebar or a secondary block somewhere, if you're using a block builder, this is a great tool to help you do that. And it builds out a grid, and it does have different types of grids available. So it's one you'll want to check out if you're looking for something that works via shortcode. So go check it out, Display Post, and I give it a 4 dragon rating. Okay, so what have we got for you next, Angel?
This one is called Sticky Header Effects for Elementor. So if you're using Elementor, it has several options, but the one that I really, really like that is not native to Elementor right now is, let's say you have a transparent menu and you want it to be sticky. Well, if you start scrolling down the page, whatever's in the background is going to affect the visibility because your menu is transparent. So what this one allows you to do is to select a color so that once the visitor starts scrolling, it changes the menu background from transparent to any color you want. It also allows you to change the size so that you have a minimized menu. So there's a lot of nice little tweaks. That is a nice option if you want to have a transparent menu, let's say on the home page, and then have it change.
Oh, absolutely.
Really, really useful.
Absolutely. And what are you rating this one?
Oh, this one is a 5 stars because it's free.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and I do recognize this one now that you started talking about it. I think you brought it to my attention several months back, and I ended up using it in a project I was working on for a movie studio down in California, and we needed to do exactly that. They started with a transparent header, and every time it scrolled down, you couldn't read it, and so I had to have it switched to a gray or a black color, and this worked beautifully for that. So yeah, I fully agree with you there. It's a great plugin, and if you're looking for that, if you're dealing with that particular problem, make sure you go check out the sticky header effects for Elementor. Okay, the next one I've got is another Elementor plugin, and I may or may not have brought this one to folks' attention. It seems familiar, but I didn't dig back in my other show notes to find out. But it's Ultimate Carousel for Elementor, and it's one I had to use a couple of weeks ago as I was building out a site in Elementor and needed a decent carousel to display some stuff. None of the other ones were quite fitting what I needed it to do, and this one worked quite nicely for building out a carousel of images on the site, and because it integrates into Elementor, it made it a bit easier to use than some of the other carousel plugins that are available. And there's dozens of them available. You could spend all day just trying to figure out which one to go to. So it's a pretty decent one. Go check it out. I give it a 4 dragon rating, and it is the Ultimate Carousel for Elementor. So what do we got up next for you there, Angel? I think the Pacific Ocean is really not enjoying us today. Maybe they cut the cable between Canada and the Pacific.
Oh, John.
There you are. Are you able to hear me when I'm talking?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So now we actually have the cable ship that manages the cables for the Pacific Ocean. The one that goes and fixes the cables is harbored here in Victoria. Actually,
maybe it's out messing with the cable right
yeah,
now.
maybe a whale's down there chewing on it, thinking it's a piece of
Yeah.
licorice. All right, so tell us what we got. What do we got next from you there, Angel?
This one is called Safe SVG. So SVG file is basically a text graphic file. It's basically code, but it's a type of file that allows you to go from very small to very large. Obviously, if you have a JPEG or a PNG, you know you're going to have resolution problems if you go up with pixelation. But an SVG file, you can make it as big as you want, and it's great for like the logo on the home page or any other type of graphic that you can manipulate. So what this allows you to do, it allows you to import it into your media library, because by default, WordPress doesn't let you upload SVG files because of the inherent potential problem with malware stuck into the code. This is a really useful plugin, and it works really simple. You install it, and then you can just drag an SVG file into it. For folks that haven't worked with SVG files, easiest way, if you have Adobe Illustrator, you can basically go in there and save it as, and then you have the option to save it as an SVG.
Yep.
This one I give 5 stars because it really does a great job, and it's very, very simple to use.
Excellent. Yeah, SVG is nice, and they're trying to push the internet towards SVG files. And as you mentioned, as being text files, they are subject to possible infections. But they do make for very lightweight graphics, and SVG is something I used years and years ago with graphics when I actually did graphics, but not these days. Don't do many of those anymore, but yeah, it's a great one. Okay, so the final one I've got for you here is Tarot Card the Card Oracle, or Tarot Card Oracle. And if you like tarot cards, and I played with them from time to time over the years, I've got an online tarot card reading plugin, or reading, not a plugin, but a program, half converted to a plugin on one of my very old personal websites. I can't even remember the name. Thorn and Oak, that's it, thornandoak.com. But this one here is one that allows you, if you like tarot cards, or maybe you might offer a service, or maybe you offer Swami services or something along that line, and you want to give online tarot card readings, you can set this plugin up, and it allows you to create the spread, build out the spread for your tarot cards, and set up the readings, define the meanings in the different positions for the card, and define the cards, and a whole lot of stuff. And if you're really into tarot cards, you'll understand that. I only half understand it because I understand just enough about tarot cards to be dangerous. But it is a really interesting plugin. It's brand new. It's only been out, possibly a week. It's got less than 10 active installations as of this show, but it could be something of interest to people out there. And it looked like something that took them quite a while to develop. So anyway, go check this one out. Currently, I give it a 4 dragon rating. Go check out Tarot Card Oracle. Okay, where we go? We still got you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and where we at right now, we are at the point of this show is currently sponsored by Save Time and Money Managing Multiple WordPress Websites. If you have several WordPress websites to manage, either for your clients or yourself, then you know how much time it can take managing them all. Time that is spent on mundane administrative tasks, and then losing that time for your important business tasks. CMS Commander is an online service that solves this problem and makes managing multiple WordPress websites fast and easy, as simple as controlling a single site. By placing all your websites in one powerful dashboard, CMS Commander makes it possible to update, backup, and manage them all at the same time in one place. Features of CMS and Commander include one-click updates of plugins, themes, and WordPress core for all sites, automatic scheduled website backups, website cloning and restoration, uptime monitoring and analytics integration, bulk posting and automatic content. Sign up now for your 14-day trial at cmscommander.com and access all the features that will allow you to manage more websites and save time. Absolutely. As I've mentioned, well, dozens of times, about time I figure out something different for this. But CMS Commander, great tool. I've been using it now about 9 years. And if you do sign up, please use the link in the show notes or just go to WP A-Z.com/CMS Commander. That way I get the little bit of kickback from it because it is an affiliate link. They don't actually pay for the ad. Be nice though. Okay. We have a little bit of listener feedback and questions this week. A couple of things. First off, got from you. Hello, John. Your podcasts are great and well formatted. Question. I enjoy coding text-only websites. May I directly code everything in everything HTML, CMS into WordPress? Thanks sincerely, Richard Hop. Well, thanks, Richard. Yeah, you could. I don't know why you would, but you could. It just seems like overkill to get in there. The CSS, yes, you can code the entire theme. You can build out your entire theme HTML and do that, but you really wouldn't want to. You might want to start with a theme and then go into the CSS and customize the CMS to your heart's content. I see that a lot, especially when I'm taking over an old project that had been kicking around for 3 or 5 years and the developer's long since left it and it's been landed in my lap. I've been working on one recently that's had this exact problem. So you can, not sure why you would, but if you really enjoy your coding that much, I would suggest learning how to write a theme and use that for everything you do. That way you don't have to duplicate your work every time you do it. Any suggestions there, Angel?
It sounds like a lot of work, but if you like coding, that may be the best option.
Yeah. Okay, and this one here, this is a repeat a bit from last show, and it's mainly because there was a bit of confusion as to what happened. We got a lot of feedback on Twitter on this, people asking me if I needed a developer. That wasn't exactly what we were trying to get out there. And of course, I get busy and I can be narrowly focused at times, lose track of things with the work I do and my other side projects. So if you can help us out here with this, please send some feedback to me, put it on the YouTube channel, go hit the contact page, send it back to me. It'd be great to get this information back out to Marv. So the question was, and of course he'd made mention, it's been a while that he contacted the show. He was looking for a plugin for a client. So he's looking for a plugin already made, not looking for a developer to develop the plugin. He's looking for an out-of-the-box package. And as I mentioned, I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but I just don't remember when and where. And what he wanted to do was be able to get a quote from the WordPress for some product, or should I say WooCommerce? Probably WooCommerce is what he meant. A quote from using WooCommerce, get a quote for products and services, have the client be able to log in to WordPress as the client who asked for the quote or services and approve or get questions and pay for the quote. And I've seen something like this, but I just can't recall it. And it's just been a while. And this is something that does exist in WooCommerce, I'm sure. And if you know of it, please let us know. So that's what I was trying to clarify up for this one. How about you, Angel? Have you seen anything like that?
You know what? I've only done a couple of WooCommerce sites, but that is sounds like a very useful tool, but I'm not aware of it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it would probably exist out there.
Well, I know it exists because I saw it once, and it wasn't something I needed, and it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. So it's just there, and I don't know what to look for. All right, that wraps up all of that. And please, more questions, comments, feedback, please keep it coming. Show me that you're listening to the show. Show me that you want to, help participate, make the show better. Make me actually work a little, use my brain. Sometimes I will. I'll try and do the research if I'm not buried down in work. I'm surprised at what happened. The Rona hit, and it turned out I was going kind of slow and steady, and all of a sudden I had a spike in work. Not that I'm complaining, mind you, because I could always use the money, especially with many people not getting it. And you'll have to excuse me a moment. I got a buzzer at my door. Hello. Hello. All right. Somebody showed up early. Okay, so gotta love this live stuff where I can just get up and walk away. And leave some dead air. I should have told you to keep talking there, Angel.
I wasn't sure.
Oh, well, you know, we had dead air. That's all right. Dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air. Do I got anything for that? Oh, there it is.
Glitch, glitch, glitch.
Okay, so we're at the bend here, and hang on half a second. There we go. Crickets. Oh, that's what we had. Okay, so that was fun. Okay, so where we're at right now in the show is that we are now at the point of the contest. And we do have a contest this week. This is a repeat with many thanks going back to Martin, who had won the contest last time and realized he had no projects he could use the Event Espresso license for. So it has been recycled back into the show. So thank you very much, Martin, for giving us back the license to give it out again. So this time, folks, the contest is live and running through till June 10th. I know I said June 5th last week, but I pushed it an extra week because again, I got busy and I forgot to turn the contest on properly. So I'm wondering how many people tried to enter the contest that wasn't set up. So at any rate, we have the contest running for Event Espresso 4, and it is a license for everything or an Event Espresso developer license. This license is worth $300, and it is a very good plugin. I used it late last year to build out a conference website, and it just worked fantastic for all the multiple levels of things in the conference they needed to buy their dinners, to buy a dinner with tickets, to go for a tour, to buy the tour and dinner, and all you could, and they could piece it together, and it just works great. Did the job fantastic. So it's something you'll want to check out, and if it's something you're looking, enter the contest. You might be the winner of this full-blown license that you can use. And if you want to find out more information about Event Espresso, go check out my interview with Seth Schultz from Event Espresso, which I did a few months back, and it was really great to speak with him. I talked with him. I've done 2 interviews with him, one recently and one about 6 or 7 years back when Event Espresso first started out. So go check out the contest at WPPlugins A-Z.com/contests. Okay, and that's it. Closing out this episode. You want to tell the folks what plugins you covered up there, Angel?
Yes, we covered Central Color Palette, Sticky Header Effects for Elementor, and Safe SV.
Try that again. For some reason, you broke up.
Okay, here we go. Central Color Palette, Sticky Header Effects for Elementor, and Safe SVG.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. And I covered up display posts, easy lists, grids, ultimate carousel for Elementor, and tarot card oracle, which all of them I gave a 4 to, and Angel gave a 5 to all of his. So thank you very much on all that. And real briefly, just a couple of quick reminders. The next WordPress meetup is scheduled for next week, and at the moment is looking like it's going to be a go-ahead, but stay tuned to our social media channels because it may or may not happen. I've been tough at coming up with a topic for it, and I've been trying to get out of town a little earlier than usual. So this may get pushed aside because, well, we can't meet in person, and I have to do it all virtual anyway. Any suggestions for topics folks would like, please send them my way. I will happily entertain them. I do have a couple of new interviews that are coming out. Those will be out shortly. And if you would like to be in an interview show, simply connect with me at WPPlugins A-Z.com/interview. And if you want know more about what I'm doing with my spare time, go check out the Rogues Tavern, where I've actually uploaded three videos in the last week, getting caught up to date on my adventures in the urban forest that I'm building right now. And I'll have more stuff coming soon with me at the range and my 3030. All right, that's pretty much all I got. Any last question? Any last bits from you there, Angel?
Well, first of all, thank you for the honor of being on the show and allowing me to contribute and participate. And again, thank you for everything you've done with plugins. WordPress is nothing without the plugins, so your show has been invaluable to me, as I'm sure to many. The last thing I want to say to everybody listening, if you're having problems with your website, please let John help you. He's helped me several times with some of my projects, and the last one was my wife's website. She's a university professor, and the website basically was down. I couldn't even get into it, and John was very helpful. You kept me out of the doghouse, John. Thank you so much. So use John for website troubleshooting.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Angel. I greatly appreciate that. And make sure you go check out Angel at, I can't remember your website name, angellamu.com? No. Excuse me. What's your website again there, Angel? Hello. Yeah, we're having some troubles with the Pacific Ocean today. Oh, not my usual show. What's your website again there, Angel?
It is KOA, K-O-A, digital.com.
There we go. Make sure you go check that out, folks. And he does some really great graphic design, so check him out. All right, well, that's everything I've got, and I'm going to let my girl take us on out of here. Don't take off on me, Angel. We'll chat a little bit after. So off we go.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa-z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox.
It's tequila shot time.
Plugins A-Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa-z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa-z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at wppluginsa-z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today. There we have it. That was a good show. So, yeah, thanks, Angel. Right. Yeah, a little for those that tune into the stuff afterwards, the tequila shot has evolved because I used to, after the show, and I'd get everything wrapped, I'd be able to go over to the brewery by my house where they have a tasting room and have a beer. But for the last 2.5 months, I've not been able to do that because they closed the tasting room down. And so I was like, okay, well, I want something. I deserve something. I got a show done. So it's tequila shot time. So that's how that evolved into the show. All right, so we're going to no questions from people out there today. It's a quiet day. We managed to get upwards at one point, I think, five live viewers. So thank everyone for showing up when you did. I greatly appreciate you checking out the show. And I'm going to take it off live now, and I'll chat with you for a moment afterwards there, Angel. Take care now. Bye-bye.